What we do here is go back, 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 back.
What's going on, everybody? This is Not Your Average Bros. This is our second attempt at a video, as yours truly deleted the first one by accident, but you will catch that podcast on Spotify here. And today I'm wearing a very special t-shirt. All of us were involved at some point with Bracken Ridge basketball and everything that we accomplished in the year 2005. So if I have any of my 2005 teammates listening, this episode is for you guys. But today we're going to talk about the Eastern Conference and Western Conference standings. But guys, and feel free to unmute yourself after I announce this. I kind of wanted to make this a competition. We're going to do some trivia. I'm going to put in the standings here. But I was looking at Facebook the other day, and everyone kind of knows about the Facebook Marketplace. So here's my thoughts, and let me see what you guys think. Whoever is the worst via trivia and the standings has to, on the Facebook Marketplace, sport some of their wife's clothes and sell them online. Thoughts, fellas? And John, we're going to go ahead and start with you. And what are your East standings?
Well, okay. Well, after I'm still trying to get over this whole wearing your spouse's clothes.
No, you'll look good, man.
All that. Okay, yeah. Well, I'm not really worried about it. So, my East standings for this year, I'm gonna have to go with Milwaukee at number one. Giannis, he just signed his deal. He's committed, so he's ready to go again. He's been the MVP. He's ready to go. So number two, I have Miami. They just come fresh off their finals, coming back. So, obviously I had to have them top two. I think Milwaukee is a little bit better, but Miami looked really good last year. I like the things they did. Number three, Brooklyn. Brooklyn jumped all the way back up. They got KD this year. They got Kyrie. We'll see exactly how well they'll do. But, with that talent, they have to be top three. Number four, I have Boston. Of course, we know about their guys, Tatum, Brown. And then number five, I had Toronto. It's been, I guess, they didn't make the finals last year, but before that, they still had a good run last year. So I still feel really good about Toronto. I feel like they're in a good place. And really, honestly, the East is really pretty top heavy. After Toronto, I have Philadelphia. I know there's been a lot of talk about moves that they might make, but they're still a really good team with Ben Simmons and Embiid. And then after that, I have Washington at number seven. I feel with Westbrook there, last year they didn't have John Wall. Westbrook's there now. I feel like they're going to be a lot better than they were. Then I have Atlanta actually making a leap as well. Trae Young's going to show out and make the playoffs, help that team make the playoffs. And number nine, I got Indiana, which is really still a good team, solid team. They're always a hard team to play. But I have them at number nine. And then after that, Charlotte, Orlando, Chicago, Detroit, New York, and then Cleveland.
All right. What was your number 8 again? What was your number 8?
Number 8, I had Atlanta. I had Atlanta making the playoffs at number 8.
Atlanta, good. I can't disagree with you there. All right, Rob, you're next. What you got for the East?
I definitely can disagree with that. I did 8 teams because that's what matters. I think there's a lot of I don't care where Orlando falls. It's not going to be into the playoffs. So I think at number 1, I'd agree with John. I'm going with the Bucks. I think they are made for the regular season. Budenholzer is going to have those guys playing a ton of minutes. They're going to win 60-plus games again. I'm hopeful to see what Drew Holiday brings to the table. I think I would have loved to see them add Bogdan Bogdanovic to that fold, but I think they've still got a good mix of role players coming in. I think Chris Middleton's an established all-star. You've got Giannis, and now you add in Drew Holiday there, who I think can guard a lot of people. I think they'll be really good. I don't know if they get to the finals, but I think they're going to be the number 1 team to beat. At number 2, I'm going to put the Nets. I think they are the most talented team in the East, 1 through 15, if not in the entire NBA. You've got KD, he's looked strong in preseason. Kyrie is an all-star talent. And you've got a very, very deep team there with Dinwiddie, LeVert. You've got two bigs in Jordan and Allen who can really play. I'm anxious to see what happens. Anything can happen with Kyrie. They got to stay healthy. But I think they got a chance. The Heat are my third seed. I think they showed exactly what they could do last year. I think they overperformed a little bit in the bubble and what they did in the playoffs. But they definitely are established. Tyler Hero is going to have a breakout season, I think, this year. Bam Adebayo came out really big last year. You've got Jimmy Butler there, obviously, who's established. I think Dragic coming back from injury is going to be really good. At number 4, I've got the Celts. I think they can fall anywhere from 2 to 6, probably in the East. Superstar talent in Tatum. I think it's going to fall on, can Kemba stay healthy for the whole season? Jaylen Brown's going to play well. Marcus Smart's going to play well. They've got some really good young guys. They can come in and give them the push off the bench. But if Kemba Walker can stay healthy, I think they can slide into that top 3 spot. After that, I've got the Sixers. Ran it back with a lot of the same players. Embiid's an all-star. Simmons is an all-star who can't shoot the ball. I think they put Steph Curry now on the perimeter, who gives them some shooting, lacks the defensive edge that they got. I think they can hide him a little bit. But I just don't see them overtaking any of those other teams. Toronto comes in next at 6. I think they lost all of their front court in Marc Gasol and Serge Ibaka. Gabe Van Vliet, a huge deal. He's going to play really well. Kyle Lowry is going to be solid for them again. But I don't think they have the talent to mix it up with the rest of the East and go into the playoffs strong. After that, I've got Indiana at 7. I think Oladipo, Sabonis, good core. They've got Malcolm Brogdon. They've got a really good team. But I just don't think they're going to play with the upper echelon. And 8th seed, I've got the Washington Wizards. I think Russ is going to go and be good for the young core that they've got there. Rui Hachimura. You've got Denny, the rookie, coming in. And I think Bradley Beal again is going to average somewhere in the range of 26 to 30 points per game. Russ is going to help with rebounding. I think that's going to be really, really good for them. They've also got Robin Lopez off the bench, which is a solid pickup for them. He's going to help them on the boards and with some toughness. So I went between Washington and Atlanta. I just don't think Atlanta is going to make the jump this year. I think they've got Trae Young, who's really good. They put some really good pieces around him. I just don't think that it's going to be enough to hop into the playoffs. So.
Gotcha. And I love your point about Toronto losing Gasol and Ibaka. And then also, too, Rob, bro, you forgot to mention your favorite player that just joined Milwaukee in Forbes. Come on now. I mean, that makes them a straightaway contender, my friend.
Yeah, Rob,
but
I forget, man.
A little bit different. And I know that this is kind of steering off the path. I wanted to kind of give you mine. There's going to be a separate video for mine for the East rankings. And I kind of have a little bit of a stunner compared to what you guys have. So number 1, I have Brooklyn. I feel that with their roster alone. Now, I know Rob made that great point due to injuries with Kyrie. Hopefully KD doesn't get injured, but there should be no reason that Brooklyn should not be number 1. Number 2, I have Milwaukee.
A lot of ego there, though, Schwartz. A lot of ego there.
There is. You're absolutely right. There is a lot of ego there, but at the same time, that roster. And here's the thing: there's constant rumors with the Rockets as far as they're going to trade and make that trade. Could Brooklyn be the team? And then you have Harden, KD, and Irving. I mean, they should not.
That's as much ego as all of us right here right now.
Hey, if they trade for Harden, the team is gonna be Kyrie, KD, Harden, because they're gonna let go of a lot of pieces to get that man on that team.
Absolutely,
roster
and absolutely
suit up.
So number 2, I have Milwaukee. Again, there should be no reason that they fall below 3. I think number 3, I have the Heat. They had a big loss in Jamison Crowder. Jamison Crowder last year in the playoffs played amazing. I know a lot of people had high hopes for Iguodala, and maybe Iguodala can indeed fill that spot or that void that Crowder left. I've always been a big fan of Crowder. Number 4 and number 5, interchangeable, kind of like Rob says, as far as like the Celtics falling anywhere. They do have an addition with Tristan Thompson coming in. I don't know if that addresses their big man problem. I guess we'll see. 76ers, I had it 4. Celtics, I had it 5. Here are my last three that I think could be very interchangeable. I love the Wizards right now and their depth of their roster. I think they have a lot of good pieces. I'm going to put them at number 6. Number 7, I am going to put the Pacers right now because they are still without Jeremy Lamb, and I don't think Jeremy Lamb is going to start again until late January, February. And I think he's one of those key pieces that could be, I'm not saying a game changer, but win them a few more games as he is points off the bench, and he's been proven that proven that in the past. And then last spot, I have Atlanta. I love all their additions. Um, with Rondo, a veteran there, Gallinari. I just think that there should be no reason that they should not make the playoffs, which outs Toronto. I think Toronto losing their two big men in Gasol and Ibaka, I don't know. I just don't see them making the playoffs without a big guy. But that's kind of my shocker. Spot, clean it up. What are your thoughts?
I mean, I'll say this. I think we can all agree. I can agree with John and Rob about the Milwaukee thing. I mean, you got Giannis. The dude's a superstar. Dude's out of this world. Can't shoot, but I mean, LeBron couldn't shoot either. Look what he did. Um, Brooklyn, man. I think that's the biggest. I'm a little iffy on Brooklyn because I feel like they can be number 1, but they could be like number 6. Like Rob said, I mean, they're one. I mean, it could go from anywhere to there. Boston. Boston's that team, they remind me of the old 4 Pistons. Nobody stands out to you, but they got some really good players that can make a difference in where they're going. Atlanta, I think John just said it because Trae Young's there, and John loves OU. I think that's his thing. I don't see them making the playoffs. But Washington, man, I know people are hard on Westbrook, but see what he can do. They may be the 8th seed, but they can win a first round series. Because we saw what happened with Giannis, man, when they were in the playoffs, and when he's not going, nobody else is going with him. He's just not doing it. And as much money as he gives him, he's got some good pieces. He's got Drew Holiday, he's got Middleton, but we've seen time again they don't show up. Who's playing?
Absolutely, great points. Let's switch it over, John. What you have for the West?
All right, for my West, honestly, I wouldn't say there's a whole lot of shockers here. The West is very, very deep, and really like the top 6 or 7, they're kind of teams that were just there last year also. Really where it got hard for me was like who's going to get in that 8 spot, and from there on, and also have to think about the Spurs where I put the Spurs at. But at number 1, I got the reigning champs. I got the Lakers there. Of course, they're going to coast throughout the season. They might not end up in first place because, they got other hungrier teams behind them. LeBron already said that, he's not really going to take it seriously until, to a couple months in. But they did pick up some good pieces here in the off season, like Montrez, Schroeder. But I have them at number 1. Number 2, I got the Clippers. They still a real good team. They kind of folded last year in the playoffs, but I think that'll motivate them to do better. And I know Kawhi, he's always he doesn't always show it, but he takes a lot of things personally. I think he's gonna take offense to the fact that they got knocked out when they shouldn't have. Number 3, I have Utah. Utah's still a solid team. Denver, I have Denver at number 4. They still got their guys, still a real good team. Number 5, I got Dallas at number 5. I think Luca is actually going to have a really big year. And I know we might talk about this later about MVP favorites, but I think Luca's going to have a tremendous year. He's going to get him in the 5 spot, and then anything can happen from there. Number 6, I got Portland. They're still solid. Number 7, I got Phoenix. As they're going to build off what they did in the bubble, going not losing any games. And then they picked up Chris Paul, which brings a real good leadership there. They did lose Oubre, but they're still a really good team. They got a lot of good pieces. So, and then here from like 8 to 13, I was mixing teams around. But at number 8, I think I'm gonna have New Orleans make it. I think this is a year that they'll take a step forward. So I have New Orleans at the 8th spot. And then just in case you were wondering, I have Memphis, Golden State. So Golden State was tough. I could have had them at the 8th spot, but I think with Golden State, steps back. But with Klay Thompson, what happened to him and his injury, I think it's gonna hurt him. And also, like, I really don't know if Oubre is really a winner. I don't know if Wiggins is a winner. Um, they're really good talents, but I'm not sure of their championship material. So I had Warriors at number 10, and then I had San Antonio. I had the Spurs at 11, and then followed, which another big surprise could be, is Houston. I had Houston at 12. I'm not sure about their chemistry and what's going to happen with Harden and Wall. I don't think that's going to work out. Something's going to happen. We don't know, but I just think that there's a lot of variables there that still could happen. And I don't think they're going to really have it all together. There's a lot of talent there, but I have them down at 12. And then to round it out, I got Sacramento, Minnesota, and then I have the Thunder, which will be moving up in the next few years, but this ain't the Thunder's year this year.
Good point. Good point on the Rockets. Again, one of those constant variables. Is Harden going to get traded? Rob, what you got for the West?
All right. I think much like John, I'm going to run it with the Lakers overall. I think they are one of the deepest teams, or at least the most talented teams. You've got, any night they step on the court, they've got two of the top three players in LeBron and AD. You throw in Montrezl Harrell, reigning sixth man of the year, who's probably going to start for them at center, I think. And then you've got Dennis Schroeder off the bench. You've got a lot of nice other pieces. I think they coasted a lot last year, and they ended up the second best record in basketball. I don't think they'll have a problem getting back to the finals even. So we got them at number 1. I think in second, I've got Denver. I think they've got two young stars that are growing every day, and Jokic and Murray. I think you've got, who I'll talk about later as a six-man contender, Michael Porter Jr., who's going to play really well. I think you've got a lot of nice pieces on the wings and guys that know their role. I think losing Torrey Craig is big for them this offseason, but I think they've got more than enough pieces to kind of fill up with that. Third, I got the Clippers. You signed Paul George to an extension. I think he has to play way better than he obviously has played in the past couple playoffs. He's an all-star talent. Is he the guy that's going to do that? I think he said it was Doc Rivers' system that caused it. Doc is out. He's there. So he's got to really put up now. I think Kawhi is going to do what he does all year. He's going to be one of the best, 5 players in basketball, but it's going to really rely on that. I think losing Montrezl Harrell hurts them a lot. I don't think Morris is going to give nearly the amount of production that they saw from Harrell. Lou Williams is going to score some points. He disappears in the playoffs. And then fourth, I've got Utah. I think one of the teams that they've got a ton of pieces every year, and they kind of fall apart in the playoffs. But I think Donovan Mitchell takes a step up. I think he puts himself maybe not into direct MVP contention, but I think he becomes one of the top 15 to 20 players in basketball, along with some of those bigger names. Gobert just signed an extension, I think, today. So I think, that solidifies where they want to go with the franchise. And they've got, was it Bowden that's coming back from injury? Great scorer. I think they're going to have some really good showings from him. Next, I've got Portland. I think they're deep. They got some huge signings. Robert Covington going over there gives them another shooter. Re-sign Carmelo. Damian Lillard is going to be in the top 5 for MVP votes this year. He's going to do. CJ McCollum is an all-star if he was in the East. And then you've got Yusuf Nurkic. Zach Collins will be back in about a month or 2 from injury. And you've got Enes Kanter back, who's going to give them, close to, if not a double-double off the bench, a ton of nights. So I think they're really deep. A sleeper team and a dark horse. I think people kind of looked at them weird last year as they came in as a 9 and they knocked off Memphis. Like they weren't deserving of that seed. I think they're a lot better than they played last year. After Portland, I've got Dallas. Luca is one of the top 3 basketball players in the NBA. I think he's going to lead. That team will go how KP goes. Porzingis comes out and he's healthy, he plays aggressive. If he shoots it well, if he rebounds well, they're going to play really good. I think losing Curry hurts for them, but I think they're gonna have a good showing. 7th, I've got Phoenix. I think Chris Paul is going to help those young guys turn the corner. You've got him along with Book and Ayton out there. Really good core. You've got some young guys off the bench that are going to play well, and a bunch of other people who just want to win right now. And I think they're hungry after what they did in the bubble, and they've got some confidence. The rest of the teams in the West, it's tough. I think you've got the Spurs, Golden State, Sacramento, Memphis, New Orleans, Minnesota, and Houston, all in contention for that 8-9 for the play-in. I think really the OKC Thunder are the only team that has no even thoughts to make the playoffs this year. I think they're still stacking picks for another few years. I said on our last talk that I thought the Spurs would make the 8th seed. I'm going to stick with it. I think, New Orleans would probably be my pick after. But I'll be honest, Zion's looked really good in preseason. He still scores 5 feet and in. He cannot hit an 18-footer. You got JJ Redick out there shooting well. Lonzo's looked like he could shoot the ball well. I don't discount how much of a loss Drew Holiday is going to be for them. He guarded their toughest assignments night to night. He was a real leader for that team. Brandon Ingram is an amazing player. He's going to do really well. Steven Adams is a great pickup for them. I just think they're going to have some injuries, and they're going to have some chemistry issues as a young team trying to fit into Stan Van Gundy's system. They're going to keep them out of the playoffs. Golden State, I think Curry is going to go crazy for 25 games. He's going to twist an ankle. He's going to hurt something. And then they're going to sit him the rest of the year, and they're going to go get another lottery pick until Clay is back. Draymond Green's going to get really exposed without all those shooters around. And Memphis, I think Memphis played really well in the bubble. Actually, not in the bubble, sorry. They played really well in the season before the stoppage. And I think they just outperformed where they're at. I think Ja Morant is really good. The rest of the guys on our team are good players, but you're not going to get into the playoffs with Dylan Brooks as your starting guard. And after that, I think Houston, Harden does not stay around. I think he's gone by the trade deadline. And even if he stays there, those guys do not want to play together. They couldn't care less. I could see Harden missing a ton of games. So I'll throw it out there. I think San Antonio is going to sneak in, probably a sub or right at 500 record. Then we'll bow out to the Lakers in the first round.
Good point. And then I have to agree with you on that A spot. Here's what I have. There should be no reason why the Lakers are not number one. They're coming off of a great season, championship season. Their team is intact in better form than last year. I think they're going to ride that high. Number 2, I have the Nuggets, just like you, Rob. I think Michael Porter Jr. is going to have an amazing year. I do have them as one of the contenders of the 6th man of the year. Number 3, I have the Clippers. And the reason why I don't have them at number 2, I think that there is a lot of problems with Paul George in that team. He can blame all he wants. He can blame Billy Donovan and OKC. He can blame Doc Rivers for last season. I just don't agree. I just don't think that Paul George is going to have that epic season, that epic, comeback season from where he was last year. Number 4, I have the Trailblazers. I think Robert Covington is a great addition to what they had last year. I know that last year the Blazers barely got in. I like that they got Cantor back. I just like their signings overall, and I think they were a couple pieces away from really, really being that contender, and I think Covington is really going to set them apart. Number 5, I got the Mavs. Luca, I think is going to be one of the top 2 or 3 for MVP. I think he's going to have an amazing season. Hopefully Porzingis makes it back in time. I love Josh Richardson and his addition. I think he's going to be one of those sneaky defenders. Then it gets hard. I'm going to put Golden State at number 6. That roster is really good. And I do agree with Rob that Draymond is going to get exposed at points.
Wow.
But I do like his game. I'm a big Draymond Green fan. He reminds me of old school basketball and that toughness that used to exist in the 90s.
Not being able to shoot basketball.
I think he has enough shooters around him. I think Andrew Wiggins is going to get his. I think Oubre is going to get his. Curry's going to get his. I've yet to see. I haven't seen Wiseman play yet. I just think that they should be at that 6th spot. Number 7, I have the Jazz, and the reason I put the Jazz at number 7 is because I want to see the Nuggets and Jazz play again. That during the bubble, man, that series was fire to say the least. Mitchell going at it with Murray, I love that series. And the number 8, I have the Spurs, just because I feel that you need to have that camaraderie, and you need to know how to play with each other. I'm going to have the Suns out because the Suns still have the problem of who's going to be their backup point guard, who comes off the bench and is handing out assists. I look at their roster and I just don't see anybody besides Paul. Unless Paul is going to still play 40 minutes a night, I don't see that. I don't see it happening. I don't see them making the playoffs. Rockets are out, obviously, because there's going to be so much controversy and so many problems with Harden. I think if he's going to stay or not. On top of, we don't know the health of Cousins yet. I love Cousins too. I hope that he stays the remainder of the season. He plays a full season. But I still see the Rockets out, which in turn, the Rockets have the second longest playoff streak to the Spurs, and they have a current one, so I see their playoff streak ending. Pelicans, again, if I were to replace the Spurs with any team that are left out of the bubble, I would have to put the Pelicans. But Spot, what are your final thoughts?
Y'all got some good things going on. I mean, I like some things y'all got going on. Of course, Lakers number 1. I mean, nobody can debate that. That is what it is. Number 2, I don't see the Clippers being up there. I just don't see it, man. After Paul George's downfall, man, I don't know. It's hard to see them up there and them give all that money. I feel like he won't live up to it. So number 2, I'm going with Rob. I think I got Denver up there. Like, Denver's that one team that everybody talks about, but nobody talks about. Everybody knows who they are, but nobody's saying anything about them. I'm gonna do something crazy. I'm gonna pick something crazy. I'm gonna pick the Warriors at number 3. I'm gonna pick the Warriors at number 3, man. I'm just
Wow.
We might have to end it right here.
I just can't.
We have lost Rob. We have lost Rob.
I just can't have a Steph Curry team not be up there, man. I just can't see it. Like, I mean, he may get hurt, like Rob said. He might get hurt. He might get out. I don't know. I just can't see him up there. I just don't see it. 4 are the Jazz. I mean, I think Gobert and Mitchell, man, that's a great one too. I like that. I feel that. Dallas is coming, man. They're coming. They're on the move. They're gonna make the moves that they need to do. Phoenix, I think, is in. I think Houston's probably that. I think Houston and Portland are that number 8, 9, 7, 8 seed. To be honest, I think those are the 2 last seeds. I don't see the Spurs making it. Sorry, shoot me in the face. I'm sorry. I apologize to y'all. I don't see the Spurs making it. I don't see New Orleans making it. It just Clippers may fall somewhere in that 4 or 5 maybe. I don't really see them doing too well. But the Warriors, man. I see the Warriors at number 3. I'm sorry. I know Rob's laughing at me. Tell your nephew I said I'm cheering for him, but that's how I see it going, man.
That's pretty bold there, Spot.
All right, so wrapping it up, John, I'll end it, or we'll start with you as far as what is your MVP this season?
All right, for MVP, I mean, I had 6 guys listed that we could be. I had LeBron, Kawhi, Giannis, Luca, KD, Curry. I think LeBron and Kawhi, they're both going to be out of the MVP talk because LeBron is not going to be playing hard until halfway through the season. Kawhi and his load management, he's not gonna show enough. Giannis, he's always playing hard. He's gonna go get it. He's gonna put up crazy stats. Luka's gonna do the same. I think Giannis and Luka are up there. KD is someone that I think that will be in the conversation, but I think since he's paired up with Kyrie, it's gonna hurt him because you got 2 superstars playing together. I don't think he's gonna be that high in consideration. So I have it between Giannis and Luka. I'm giving the edge to Luka because Giannis won already, and I think Luka's gonna go crazy this year, like crazy, and he's gonna put the team on his back. They're gonna make the playoffs, and they're gonna look pretty dang good doing it. the one person I do have kind of like a dark horse that could kind of sneak in there if the team is playing good is Curry. Like if Curry gets the team to make the playoffs and he's playing out of his mind, he could be up there for MVP favorites. But I think I have Luca winning it.
Yeah, much love to Golden State today. Jeez, Rob, what you got?
All right. I've got 3 contenders. So John named a couple. I think Steph Curry is going to have a chance to score a lot of points because it's going to be needed. And if they could make the playoffs, which is a big if, I think he'll be up there. My top 2 contenders, though, I think this guy has been, I'd say, under the radar, even with the amount of attention he gets. But Dame Lillard in Portland, I think he is going to have a chance now with probably his best team ever, I'd say, to not only make a splash in the Western Conference, but get himself, they were in the conference finals a couple years ago. Can he get to a final series? And I think Dame's going to have a ton of opportunity to do that. He's going to come in and average 26 plus, and he's a great leader, and I think he does a lot for his team. But I think the overall person that has to do everything, he's an elite scorer, elite passer, is Luca Doncic. And I think he is going to show out this year. I think he's going to show that he is, young, but he can really lead. I think he's going to have to do a lot for Dallas. And when I think about all the other players, maybe not Steph this year because Clay is out, but you've got LeBron can take a night off and AD can kill it. Kyrie or KD are going to do great things up there. Kawhi's got Paul George. Dame's got CJ McCollum. I think Luka, as great as Kristaps Porzingis is, I don't think he's a caliber of co-star that a lot of teams have, and he doesn't have the consistency built in that a lot of other teams have. So I think Luka has to, night after night, carry it. He's young where he's going to play a ton of games. He's going to play a lot of minutes. He's a great passer. And I think he's got some big shots. He didn't shoot great in clutch moments last year. I think there's a lot of highlights for it, but I think he's going to take a big step forward this year. I'll give it to Luka. I think he's going to far and away run away with that award this season.
I hope that I'm wrong because I would love to see Dame. I think I agree with you 100%. I think with Covington, with Cantor, Portland has their best team in a long time. I really hope that Lillard is the MVP, but right now I think overall I'm going to give the nod to Luka, how he performed in the playoffs. And again, one of the things that we all have to consider is the playoffs were not that long ago. We're pretty much rolling into another season. So, and again, that's probably why I do have the Spurs at the 8th seed, just because they didn't make a lot of moves. But overall, I'm going to have to go with Luka being MVP. But I hope that I'm wrong because I would love to see Dame, one of, if not my most favorite player right now. I really hope that, I am wrong and he does get it. But overall, that was our episode today. Please follow us at Instagram and Nacho Average Bros. We will be streaming our podcast live here soon, and we will give you guys that nod. But overall, from the brothers here representing Bracken Ridge High School, San Antonio, Texas, we'll see you next time.